Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public Schools Trust. First order of business is to approve the minutes of the May 17, 2011 meeting of the Trust, and I would accept a motion to that effect.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. We've got an application for suburban school district funding. Mr. Winger.
Thank you. We do have a single application for your consideration today. It comes to us from the Moore Public School District. It's for the land purchase for a new elementary school, $686,965. It's in the vicinity of Southeast 34th Street and Sunny Lane Road. It does meet the requirements of the MOU, and we recommend approval.
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Whoops. Approved. We have a couple of preliminary reports. First is we're being asked to approve the preliminary design report for Roosevelt Middle School Project ES-72.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have Jack Joyner with us today from JHBR to make this presentation and answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Eric. Once again, my name is Jack Joyner with JHBR Architects, and this is our preliminary design report for Roosevelt Middle School. We'll go over the scope of work, review the preliminary drawings, take a look at the project schedule, construction phasing, and I'll answer any questions you may have. Roosevelt Middle School is a renovation project. The existing building will accommodate approximately 643 students. The existing building is two-story, approximately 1,000 square feet. The renovation to the site will include PE field improvements, new playground equipment, new landscaping, fencing, repair, replace sidewalks as needed for ADA accessibility, new parking, repair paving, and providing a new fire line and fire hydrant. The renovation work for the interior will include removing temporary partitions and providing full-height partitions, new finishes, which will include paint, flooring, tile, lighting. We're going to provide a new elevator for ADA accessibility, renovate the restrooms as needed, new electrical service, provide new doors, hardware, upgrade the fire alarm. There's practice gymnasium when it will restore to its existing condition, provide new clock and bell, and the kitchen provide new serving lines. The renovation to the exterior will clean the exterior brick for the whole building, replace all the existing windows, replace the canopies, and renovate the courtyards. This is an aerial photograph of the existing site. You see we're on Southwest 44th and South Independence. You see the existing school to the south, the existing what is now a bus loop and combination parking lot. To the west, the existing parking for visitors. You see one annex building which will be removed to the north when the project is complete, and then to the east you see the existing playground. This is a site plan rendering what it will look like when complete. Once again, you see the existing building. We're actually going to flip the bus drive and the visitor parking now, so the lot to the south will be for visitor parking near the main entry. The lot to the west off Independence will be for bus loop and visitor parking, and then we're going to create one new parking lot to the north to be used for staff. This is the floor plan. You can see by the legend, the color code of the different areas. Real quickly, I'll run through the scope of work. The gray area up front, total remodel of the administration area with security offices and a secured entry. The yellow, you see the media center, computer lab will stay in its current location but get renovated. Cafeteria, kitchen, stage, all stays in its exact location. Then you see the competition gymnasium to the right. We're going to redo the finishes in there, completely redo the boys and girls locker rooms. The other gymnasium, the practice gymnasium to the far right, that's currently 4 or 6 temporary classrooms. So we're going to get that back to a practice gym. And then you see all the other areas in green. Those are classrooms, science classrooms. We've got music, family consumer science, tech ed, music, orchestra, and band. The floor plan to the right is the second floor. It's just classrooms and science rooms. These are some exterior elevations. This is the main entry that's not very identifiable right now. So we're going to the signage and redoing the canopy, kind of bring that to front stage. The two renderings on the bottom are just side views of the courtyard and the canopy that we are planning on renovating. This is a copy of our finish board. We've worked with principal and his leadership staff to come up with these finishes. The color schemes, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're blue and white, and we've introduced the green also. The project budget, our original program budget is $3,953,000. Our estimated scheme right now with a 3% design contingency is $3,941,000. So at this point, we are under by approximately $12,000. Our project schedule, we're asking approval for Task 2 tonight. Task 3, our final design, begin at the end of June 2011, end of August 2011. Bidding August 2011 through October of 2011, and then start construction November of 2011 and be complete by December of 2012. Construction phasing will have 4 phases. The plan to the right is the second floor. We'll vacate that floor, let the contractor come in, renovate that whole second floor. When that's complete, the area in the yellow, which is phase 2, those students will move over upstairs. That area is vacated, and then we work on that area. We do that 4 times until the project is complete. And I will answer any questions you may have.
Valerie?
I just have a question on you're flipping the bus loop and the existing parking, so the bus loop now is going to be on Independence instead of on 44th, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So is the entrance of the school then going to change to Independence, or the entrance still going to be on 44th?
The entrance will stay. And the reason is the traffic on Southwest 44th, when the buses are trying to exit school, the traffic is so heavy they have a hard time getting out. Now they can come off Independence and exit through the neighborhoods and then go off where they need to go to.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been asked to approve this design. I would recognize a motion.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Passes. Thank you. Next item, we're being asked to approve the preliminary design report for Webster Middle School Project ES 69.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. This is our second presentation for you this afternoon, and one of the items I'll bring to your attention before I introduce the architect is we are projecting the project to be over budget by about $500,000. We have accounted for this in our contingency plan, and so I want to give you the assurances that we are prepared to move forward following your approval today. But we do have Mass Architects and 2 representatives here to make that presentation and answer your questions.
Hi, Shane Murray with Mass Architects, and I'll be presenting the preliminary report for Webster Middle School. Quick outline, we're going to go through the scope of the project, look at a site and facilities assessment, look through the preliminary design, and then go through the cost estimate and the construction schedule. The scope of the project is to create a contemporary 7th and 8th grade learning environment for 825 students. We'll be completing this through a complete renovation and redesign of the existing building, and then the additional square footage will be utilized in small additions in the courtyards of the existing school. Site and facilities assessment is pretty similar to most of the schools that you've seen, new flooring, new ceiling, new lighting. Some of the major areas that will be addressed will be the mechanical system and the electrical system. Both of those are in need of being brought up to today's standards. The restrooms will also be brought up to ADA accessibility as well as the rest of the building. Looking at the site plan for the school, the light blue is the existing building, so the dark blue is the area of addition. We've located most of the additions within the interior courtyards to minimize the effect of disrupting the existing facility. That way it all looks pretty seamless once it's finished. Looking at the floor plan, the southern part of the building is going to be zoned as the core academic classes. We're going to have science, 7th and 8th grade, and some of the other mental health and special needs classrooms down there. And then in the north block, there will be the group functions such as the cafeteria and the gyms, arts, vocals, bands, things of that nature. The main addition is going to be in that central courtyard, which is the administration suite. This move provides for easy access to and from the administration suite from anywhere in the school, and it also helps to improve the security of the existing site. You are now able to see the entry from the secretary's office, and when a new visitor arrives at the school, they are greeted with the new office and where to go. With the additions being located primarily on the interior of the building, most of the exterior renovations are going to be cleaning up the site and really revitalizing what's already there, trying to bring that back up to a pleasant experience as you enter into the school. The interior design is derived directly from some of the materials that are already within the school. It was built with glazed masonry units, so beige, teal, and some oranges are found predominantly throughout the school, which is where most of those colors come from. All the subsequent areas with carpet and everything will tie into that directly. We've also got a color board right down here with some of the sample materials on that. These are some renderings looking at the main entry. The main entry stays in the place where it's at, but we've moved that administration suite up. So on that top left rendering, as you walk in, you'd be greeted with a window looking directly into the administration suite. These are some of the renderings of the different color schemes for the classrooms and how those will look once they are completed. This is a blow-up of the Media Center. Media Center, we feel like, is a pretty important part of the school. It really needs to be brought up to the standards of the district. And we have located part of the addition along this corridor here. One thing I didn't mention with the additions is by locating the additions where we have now elongated the corridors. Right now, they stop at two places at that courtyard, and you have to go outside to get to the second half of the school. So by these two additions being located here, we have continued that corridor so that no one has to go outside to access all of the school. These are a few renderings looking at what the Media Center will look like once all the finishes are in place. The way the cost estimate sits is most of the budget will be set for the remodel, a little over $4.5 million, and then the addition comes in at just over 1.8. So that takes our total cost estimate at $6.6 million with a PIP of 6.1, and as Eric said, we are just under $500,000 over budget. The way the schedule works out right now is we're completing up the preliminary report, and we will be starting into the bid documents here in into June, and we'll be finishing that up around August. Try to bid and award this around December, and then start construction in January. The phasing of the project will work with the additions getting started at the beginning of the project concurrently with Phase 2. So we'll be starting the additions and then removing one of the portable buildings that are out there. And we're looking at bringing in temporary classrooms, but we're working with the principal to explore other options. And then over the course of the year, we're going to go into the cafeteria, hopefully get that over the summertime, the cafeteria and the gyms, and then renovate different areas of the academic as we can jump them around. And that completes my presentation. Any questions?
Questions?
Why is there such a long period between the bid documents and the bid award?
That schedule it hasn't been updated since it came out. So really, that schedule reflects us going into, oh, well, all right, I'm sorry, I'll back up there. So I said that we would be finished up in August and bid around December. Hopefully that can be moved up a few months to November, so directly once we can release those documents.
Any other questions? Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Thank you. Next item, contracts. Ratify the issuance of and approve addendum number 1, award contract, base bid plus alternates 1, 2, and 3 to W.L. McNatt and Company for Arthur Elementary School in the amount of $4,991,500 and approve contracts and bonds, project ES 63.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had reported previously about the bids that were received on Arthur Elementary, and obviously they were very favorable. The low bid with all the alternates is under the estimated budget by $590,000. We are recommending the base bid and all alternates. Boynton Williams was the architect. Low bid is W.L. McNatt and Company, who's done lots of our map school work. We recommend approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion? So moved. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is a resolution adopting the City of Oklahoma City revised investment policy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since disbursement of the first tax funds, the City Treasurer's Office has provided investment services for the OC Maps Trust. The Trust officially adopted the policy in 2004, but in March of this year, the City Council adopted a revised investment policy The policy is attached and included in your packet. It provides for independent investment advisor services as well as additional options for investments in securities. And we're asking today that the trust adopt that revised policy for use consistent with council's previous approval. We do have Bob Poundkiller, City Treasurer, here to answer any questions that you might have.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'd recognize a motion that this resolution be adopted.
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Thank you. Next item, authorize the purchase and installation of network equipment and classroom phones at 9 schools from Chickasaw Telecom, Inc., $544,275.45, project ES39.
Thank you. Excluding the downtown elementary school, this will actually be our final major purchase of technology equipment for the public schools that we've been working on as a part of Maps for Kids. You'll notice that most of the middle schools are included in this, and those are our final projects under the program. Quotes were actually solicited to 18 different vendors on city contract. We did receive 2 responses. The best response was received from Chickasaw Telecom, and it was under the budget by about $92,000. We recommend approval.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item, we're being asked to ratify the issuance of and approve addendum number 1 and reject the bids for West Nichols Hills Elementary School project ES56.
Thank you. So not all the bids that we receive are as favorable as the one that we just approved, and unfortunately on May 24th, we did have 6 bidders on the West Nichols Hills project. The bids were actually very consistent, but unfortunately the low bid was over the budget by about $1.1 million. It's nearly 40%. We're working to identify the cause. Obviously, the plans were interpreted equally by the bidders, but we are looking at some mechanical and electrical revisions. And with this rejection, we will send the architect back, prepare a design, have them come back to you for a reapproval and rebidding of the project.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to accept the addenda and reject the bids?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item, we got change orders. First change order, number 6, for Britton Elementary School, increase of $60,910, project ES21.
Britton's nearly complete. It's actually at the 95% completion stage. There's 5 items for your consideration today. The most significant is item number 2, the stage removal. The computer lab, as originally designed, was going to be a split-level computer lab. It was found in the construction phase that it just was not going to work for the school, and so this removes that stage and places that media center all at one level. $35,400 for that item. The remaining items are consistent with what we're required to complete the project. It's a 1.24% change. Total changes to date, 4.3, and there's also 16 days added to the schedule for the removal of this stage. We recommend approval.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item is being asked to approve change order number 5 for Southeast High School, an increase of $52,143, project ES77.
Southeast is also nearly complete, better than 95%. There's 6 items for consideration today, and these total less than 1% total on the contract. With this change, 5.7%, no days. Expected completion is this month. The most significant item is number 2. You'll see boiler pump electrical services. There were some new electrical services provided to the school. Unfortunately, as a part of the plans, the connections to those pumps were omitted and they're required for service. And so this adds those electrical connections to the new electrical service. We recommend approval.
Questions? Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Next item, we're going to recommend the Board of Education of Independent School District number 89 that we approve change order number 7 for Classen School of Advanced Studies, an increase of $77,097, project EB14.
Work on Classen SAS is proceeding very nicely. It's now 75% complete. There's 11 items for consideration today on this change order. Less than 1% total change with the approval, 4.75%. There's also 37 days added for 3 of the items. pointing out those three. Item number 3, there's a gym floor replacement for $35,499. It was going to be repaired, but in lieu of repair, it's now going to be replaced due to extensive water damage. There's a topping slab that's required on the 3rd floor for some areas that need to receive new vinyl tiles. So this is a new surface to allow that vinyl tile to adhere properly. And then on page 2, you'll find gymnasium revisions for $13,379. There's some additional aesthetic improvements, some additional painting, some bleacher paint, and wall graphics that can be added to make that more consistent with the overall design. You'll see how complicated this contract has become. If you look on page 3, you can see the phasing plan, and this is some of those things that the architects are being challenged with as we move forward. This is our most significant project when it comes to timing and scheduling, but I point that out just for your information. Can answer any questions that you have, and we do recommend approval.
Other questions?
Was there any significant damage done to the locker rooms due to the fire that are going to have to be addressed later? Do you know?
I don't know, but I can follow up and answer that for you.
Yes, Anthony.
In a previous change order, as I recall, we approved a similar change to the subsurface under the vinyl, I believe, on the 2nd floor. Do you know if this will be the last of those changes that will be needed?
You know, I don't know that for certain either, although, we're 75% complete, so I think that we probably have the majority of that taken care of. And the specifics on this is that we're finding more asbestos tile in several areas of the building that weren't originally identified. And some of that they're not identifying until they actually go to take out that tile. So I'm not expecting any, but if some more surfaces, we'll bring that back as additional changes to the project.
I would also say my son is a basketball player at Classen, and I showed him this change order, and he went out and practiced. So I would just say, thank you to the voters and that this works. I mean, it does encourage the children.
Great.
And likewise, my daughter plays basketball. I'm thinking she'll be thrilled too.
I think we're going to pass this change order. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
I figured you all do that. All in favor? We'll vote. Approved. We just need to get more kids that are playing basketball. We'll be able to get these change orders done all the time. Mr. Couch, status report.
Mr. Chairman, on project updates, we now have 28 schools under construction. Several of the schools are nearing completion this summer to be opened up in the fall. We're down to 15 schools in design. The remaining projects we keep talking about that are out there are still the downtown school and the elementary. The remainder are to be bid out by the end of the year. And we did make a step in the downtown elementary school by having the school district last night approve the site for it, and that will be coming here at the next meeting. Bidding projects, we'll be bidding Hayes on July 6th, Independence on July 12th, Rockwood on July 19th, Columbus and Jackson on July 26th, redoing the West Nichols Hills will probably be sometime in August, and then we have 8 remaining schools beyond that. Community meetings, only one scheduled, and that's Columbus and Jackson at Columbus Elementary, 2402 South Penn. We have the final plans community meeting on Thursday, June 9th at 6 o'clock. There are no additional community meetings until August due to the school district summer holiday. Upcoming items, we've got for PIP amendments that we'll do in July. We're going to adjust to project budgets for bidding, adjustments to project budgets to address revised design estimates. We need to modify the Northeast Academy funding since it's now being funded from both bond and sales tax. There will be several project closeouts, so we'll do the final adjustments on those. And then we need to adjust Adams Elementary because the roof was a early start project. And so there's just more house cleaning than anything else as we go forward. As I mentioned previously, the downtown elementary site selection report will be forthcoming. And then with ADG, the program consultant, there will be a contract amendment. Scope of work to be increased by extended contract period for an additional length of time. And that's monthly reporting, design review, cost review, and construction oversight services also for the 07 school district bond issue projects. Our next meeting will be 2 weeks from today, on June 21st.
Thank you. In your packets, you have a program consultant update from Architectural Design Group. If there's no questions about those, are there any comments by trustees, staff, citizens? Thank you. We're adjourned.